Hello and thanks for watching this Acumatica video on processing RMAs. So in any business, there's a number of different ways to handle returns. We're going to go through and show you one of them in Acumatica. So the first thing is, as you can see, I'm on a dashboard for the receiving clerk, and you can see there's one incoming return. Let's click on that and drill down, and we can see that there's an order, an RM order, that's pending that we're waiting to come inbound. So this would be our queue. Let's drill into the order types because that's really where the magic comes. So if we go to sales orders and we go to order types, there's a couple of different order types and they have different types of behavior. The most common one we use for RMA processing is this RM. Now this comes with Acumatica. This is an order type that's set up. It's out of the box, but in your system, it may not be active. So you'll want to go into it and turn it on by selecting this as active. Now, an order type of RM has all the different settings that you're used to, for example, for the SO order type. But if you go to template settings, there's a few settings in here that make it unique. The first one is that it has this predefined RMA order automation behavior. And by default, when this is all done and confirmed shipment or receipt, this will turn into an invoice. And you can see the different operations here. So for an issue, meaning I'm sending the replacement item out from the RMA order, I'm creating an issue document on the sales order. It's going to be an SO allocated plan type. And for the receipt part, it's going to be a return inventory transaction on a sales order, also SO allocated. So if we go in and create a new RMA, we would go in and say new sales order, and we change the order type to RM. Now, to make this a little bit easier, if we go into our menu here and we edit, and we take a look at some of the examples of these cards up here. This one, for example, new quote, actually is the same thing as new sales order, but it has some parameters attached to it. So if I click on the pencil and edit it, you can see the parameters that we're putting in here after SO301000. And essentially, we're using the QT as a order type. So if we went over here and we added a new tile, the first thing we do is we select an icon. So there's a number of different icons here. We're going to use the little download button, Get App, because it signifies bringing stuff in. We'll give it a title. And the form here is going to be the sales order form. We want this one. And then our parameter will be order type RM. And we'll move this over. We'll put it right here so it's a little bit closer to home. We'll turn off exit menu editing. And now we have a create RMA button here. So we'll click on this and we'll select our customer. And the first thing we can do here is add an invoice. So what this does is it allows you to look up an invoice for this particular customer to see their history, to see what they last ordered. So we'll look up this invoice, and you can see right here, they ordered 2 laptops. We'll select it, add and close. They're going to be returning one of them. Now notice Acumatica puts the operation here automatically as receipt. And we'll change our quantity here to 1. This is the cost that we paid for the item. This is the price that the customer paid. Now the auto create issue is an option here. If we're going to replace this item with the very same item and the very same price, then we can leave this auto create issue here And when we go into our shipment processing, we receive this item in, Acumatica will automatically create the issue document to send the other item out the door. In this case, we're going to add the item ourselves. So we'll add a line here. It'll be an issue. And instead, we're going to replace it with a different item here. At a slightly different price. Now, in this scenario, the customer would owe us $100 because they're returning $500, but the upgrade price would be another $100 here. So we'll save this. And now this is a pending RMA. So, for example, if we go back to our dashboard, we now have incoming returns too. We could see these details again, drilling down. So being on the phone with the customer, we tell them their RMA number is this document number right here. And you know, in Acumatica, under the order types, we can have different numbering sequences. So this doesn't have to be SO. It could have been RM or something along those lines. So with that, as soon as the product comes in the door and we've evaluated our dashboard, we're looking at our incoming returns, we can drill into this, find the RMA number that's on the box. The customer would have given us that. Open it up and start an actions receipt. As we've confirmed the item the customer is returning is complete in the box, we can then select the warehouse we wish to return it to. And notice Acumatica will create the shipment receipt where we can go in. We can put some notes here if we need to about the condition. And to confirm this final step, we'll put it in stock. Now, when we go back to the RMA, we can see the status, and the status shows that this receipt line item is on a shipment, so this one's done. The next item needs to get issued out the door to replace the customer's Acer laptop with a Dell. So now we can go to Actions and create the shipment. We'll ship it from the retail location. And then we would follow this process through to shipment. This particular item is serialized, so we would attach the serial number here, or we would go to our warehouse management screen and scan the item out the door, pick, pack, and ship it with the label. So that's one scenario. Let's say we want to take an item and return it for credit. So if we go back to our order types, we have a return for credit option here, so it's an RC. So we'll go into sales orders. We'll do a new sales order. Either option's fine, I just don't have a direct shortcut to it. So I'll change the order type to RC, that's the order type. We'll select our customer. We'll look for the invoice for this customer. Pick the same invoice and select it and add and close. Now, this particular invoice, we can't return all two because one of them is already going out the door. So if I change this to quantity 1, that's acceptable because I've returned 1 and there's one more left on that invoice. So again, the price could be a unit price of $500. That's what the original invoice was. However, if I needed to add a item for a restocking fee, I can do that here. I add a non-stock item here with the appropriate price. In this scenario, I would add that non-stock item. Let's call it an admin charge. And in this scenario, it's going to be minus, let's say 10%. We'll put a minus $50 charge on it. We'll take it off hold, and we'll create our receipt. And once we've confirmed that the information is good, we can confirm the shipment and prepare the invoice. In this case, it's a credit memo. So in this scenario, we've created a credit memo for the customer for $450. $500 for the item, but we took $50 off for the restocking fee. So then at this point, you would release this, and this would be on the customer's books. Now, if you wanted to issue a credit, and the credit card information was here from the invoice, you could authorize and capture this here, and Acumatica would handle the credit card transaction. Keep in mind, most merchant processors give you a certain amount of time to do a return, where you can use that authorization code. That's a security benefit for you as well as the merchant. And again, there is time limits there, so check with your credit card merchant to see what that time frame is for doing a return from the original invoice. So that's it. Today we talked about an RMA exchange, where we took the bad item or the item in stock and we issued out a replacement for the customer. And then we also took in an item for credit and we charged the customer a restocking fee. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.